Low key, when I'm headed to work, go downstairs, get outside, and realize I need an umbrella, so I gotta go back inside, upstairs to grab it. That's the long walk. What these kids are doing is nuts. All right, welcome to Taste Take. If you're new here, today we're doing a spoiler-free breakdown of the new movie, The Long Walk. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Taste Takers, just know this. I'm out of this competition at the first minor inconvenience I come across, respectfully. Tell my sister I gave it my all, though. Okay, quick background here. The Long Walk is a new movie being released by Lionsgate. It is the latest adaptation of a Stephen King book that is being made for the big screen. All right, a little Stephen King lore here, because of course I knew the name, but I didn't know much about this dude's story. So allow me to indulge you for just 2 seconds. Now, this may come as a shock to you guys, but I've never read a Stephen King book. I possibly have never read any book. I'm just kidding. All right, Stephen King, world famous author. Many of his projects are certified classics. Many of those certified classics have been made into certified classic movies. For example, Carrie, Misery, Stand By Me, Shawshank Redemption, It, and one of my personal favorites, The Green Mile. And I'm not too cool to admit that I've been watching that movie for centuries and only recently discovered it was Stephen King. Before all these classics, Stephen King was just a kid growing up in Maine. His dad was a World War II veteran who actually changed his name from Pollock to King, which, you want a cooler name and just get one? You don't deserve that. Stephen deserves that, but you don't deserve that. Stephen's dad actually walked out on Stephen and his mom when Stephen was like 11 years old. Never seen or heard from this dude ever again. So I'm giving him all the smoke. So Stephen was raised by a single mom who always encouraged his love for writing from a very young age. Very, very young age. His book, The Long Walk, was actually the first book he ever wrote. He started this thing when he was in high school in 1966. Listen, when I was in high school, the only thing I wrote for fun was love letters to my crushes. The results, underwhelming. Anyway, he finished The Long Walk when he got to college. He was about 19. He submitted this thing to a novel contest, but they was not fucking with it. Their response, along with their rejection, was, and I quote, "no comment of any kind." Yeesh. So The Long Walk literally sat in a drawer for over 10 years. He only revisited it after he published some other stuff and was seeing some success. Now, as you may notice, Stephen released The Long Walk under his secret pen name, Richard Bachman. This was basically twofold. One, back then his team was telling him, bro, you dropping too much heat. You're going to saturate the market. So he decided to release a lot of his projects under the secret name. Number one, to get the team off his back, but also number two, to see, hey, do people really like my books, or is my name carrying more weight than the content? You know, Stephen had a very simple premise for The Long Walk. What if there was a game where when you lose, you die? I mean, we're used to this concept now, but The Long Walk came out decades before The Hunger Games or Squid Game and things like this. They don't call this dude a visionary for nothing. When it comes to the movie, would you believe that they've been trying to make this movie since 1988? One of those long-winded Hollywood stories. Every once in a while, you find these projects where the rights are floating around hand to hand. It's gone between several different directors. It's gone between several different studios. It landed with Lionsgate in late 2023. It was to be written by J.T. Molnar, and it was to be directed by Francis Lawrence, which is very fitting that he also did the Hunger Games movies. The Long Walk started production last July in Manitoba, Canada, and wrapped up filming in September of the same year. Let's get into the story. All right. Plot time. The Long Walk, Stephen King's first book, as we now know, gives us a look into a dystopian view of the United States. You may think things are bad now here in the United States, but no, we still got Chick-fil-A. In this version of the United States, Our way of life has completely changed. Resources are scarce. People are overall in bad shape. As a sign of hope, the U.S. government has been holding an annual walking competition where a young man from each of the 50 states gets to compete. There's no finish line in this race. There's no breaks in this race. And you have to keep up with a pace of at least 3 miles per hour. If you read The Long Walk, you'll know that the speed is actually 4 miles per hour. But Stephen King literally told TJ while making this movie, bro, go ahead and make that 3 miles per hour. I think I was low-key tweaking when I wrote that. So that's why you'll notice a difference. The 3 miles per hour is much more realistic. But it was the 60s, you know. Anyway, if you drop below that 3 miles per hour, you will get a warning. After your third warning, you will be killed by the government.
I'm not going to go through the whole rule book, but it boils down to this. If you fall below the speed of 3 miles per hour, you get your ticket. Walk until there's only one of you left. Who's ready to win?
And the whole thing is being televised live all over the country. There can only be one winner, but if you're the last man standing, you'll be awarded with all the riches you can imagine and the prize of your choosing. How long can you walk? So what's my take? This is easily one of the best movies of the year. I was balancing a combination of being on the edge of my seat, never looking away, to completely wanting to run and hide from what I was seeing on the screen. I got a first look at The Long Walk during this year's San Diego Comic-Con. Shout out Team JVS. The creators are there, some of the cast is there, and they actually surprised all of us in the audience by showing us the first 20 minutes of the movie. Before they play us this clip, they give us the disclaimer. They're like, look, this movie's rated R, but we know there's kids up in here. So we went ahead and took the liberty of blacking out some of the more graphic scenes in this first 20 minutes. And they did. I'm watching it and I'm seeing the little blackouts. So when I finally watched the movie for real, I'm kind of looking like, okay, I wonder what was happening in those blackout scenes. Boy, they did those kids the favor of their lives. This shit is nuts. From what I understand, as to be expected, the book is super intense. So the filmmakers wanted the Stephen King fans to know, hey, we're not holding back. And they gave Lionsgate a lot of credit for allowing them to not hold back. All right, besides being so heavy and gripping, the heart of the movie is in the bond between the walkers. So well acted, and most of them are new and up-and-coming actors. Some of our main cast includes, our lead is Ray Garrity, walker number 47. He's played by Cooper Hoffman, son of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. You may remember him from Licorice Pizza. Here in The Long Walk, he's the character we're watching from the beginning, and he seems to have a different motivation for wanting to win the competition. Then we got my main man, David Johnson, who plays Pete, walker number 23. Some of y'all probably know him from Alien Romulus, but I know him from one of my favorite TV shows, Industry, on HBO. Listen, y'all, the relationship between these two will make you feel things. They both give such fire performances. Two people that come from completely different backgrounds with totally different motives for competing in The Long Walk. Creating a friendship, knowing the closer they get, the harder it will be. Because again, there's only one winner. Walker number 46 is Hank Olsen, who's played by Ben Wang. Ben Wang is our new Karate Kid. Hank brings a lot of the comedic relief to the group, which is very impressive knowing what these boys are going through. Walker number 6 is Art Baker, played by British South Sudanese actor Toot Newt. British South Sudanese actor playing the hell out of this dude straight out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Art here is sort of like the moral compass of the group. Those four make up the homies on the walk, but I'm going to highlight 2 other walkers here. Starting with Garrett Waring, he plays Stebbins, walker number 38. Easily the most mysterious walker in the group. He's in probably the best shape out of the whole crew, so he's a contender to win the whole thing from the beginning. And then there's the bully. There's always a bully. Charlie Plummer plays walker number 5, Gary Barkovich. Now, no one likes a bully, and his character has almost no redeeming qualities, but it's being acted so well, you can't help but want to see more of him on screen. If for nothing else, than to find out why he's being such a dick. Okay, and to round out our cast highlights, of course, we go to the Major, played by the iconic Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill did 2 Stephen King movies in 1 year. This And The Life of Chuck. Yes, The Life of Chuck is also Stephen King. Stu got range. Now, the major in this world could be the president for all we know. He's cold, he's ruthless, he oversees the competition. Now, Mark Hamill in real life grew up in a military family. He actually finished high school on a Marine base in Japan. So he knew who the major was before he even got this part, because he saw those kids being put through hell every day on base. So he was able to use that to tap into his portrayal here. And yeah, we all love Mark Hamill, but we hate the major. And that's just a testament to good acting from someone we largely know as a hero. Look, I thought the movie was great, and it's such a tough, heavy watch, but there's a large part of me that wants to see it again. It would also be good for the fans of the book to know that when Stephen King is making a movie, he has final say on everything. Cast, script, everything. I already said this thing is well acted. It's also well written, and just an incredible look at the bond these brothers have created in the midst of such terrible circumstances. And you can see from the movie, and if you watch any of the press run, it feels like these actors created that bond in real life as well. And they really did walk constantly while filming this movie. One of the actors actually snuck his phone into his backpack to kind of keep track of it. That thing was coming up to almost 15 miles per day. One other tidbit I thought was interesting. Most movies, as you probably know, are shot by jumping around. The Long Walk was shot beginning to end in sequence. That being said, when someone died in the movie, that was it for their time on set. So that added another complicated layer to the bonds these actors were making. I don't know, I just thought that was kind of a genius way to make a movie, specifically like this one. We're talking about a group of strangers going through this terrible thing. Camaraderie is the only way to help you get through it. Knowing well that the stronger that camaraderie is, the harder it will be to keep walking, knowing that you'll eventually lose them all. Sheesh. It's heavy. As I said, this book was written in the late 60s. Now, Stephen King claims that he only wrote this to impress a girl. Maybe he is just like me for real. But whether he wants to admit it or not, you can feel the underlying tones of the time. A large influence likely being the Vietnam War. And here we are in 2025 going through whatever we're going through. It's a divided time. Then here comes The Long Walk, a movie that leans way more into picking up your fellow man when they fall down rather than stepping over them, even if doing so could literally cost you your life. We could all use that reminder. The Long Walk comes exclusively to theaters on September 12th. As always, thanks for checking out Taste Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button in the comments. Let me know if you plan on checking this movie out. Let me know if you're a fan of the book. Let me know if there's some other Stephen King stuff I should be checking out, man. I'm kind of into this dude's work. I hope it didn't create a monster, but, you know, thanks for the time, yo. Peace. Okay, also, did you guys know that Lionsgate set up a special premiere of The Long Walk in Los Angeles? And they took out all the seats in the movie theater and replaced them with treadmills, all set to, yeah, you guessed it, 3 miles per hour. So everyone watching the movie would have to keep up with that pace. If they fell below that pace, they were instantly removed from the theater. I'm pretty sure I could do that shit, but a very creative idea by Lionsgate. So yeah, check out the movie. It's fucking nuts.